especially for seeding. These players are all guaranteed to make playoffs, which is obviously one big, positive. But guaranteed to make playoffs and actually kind of going through and, in first place, for example, you get straight a round of 8. Second place, you get a better seed for, who you play against, for example, in that round of 12. So it is important. As in the bottom right, our red Zerg player representing the shop by Rebellion. This is Scarlett. Took out Ryung we saw just before, did lose out a Cure in some competitive games. In the top left, we just saw him taking out Ryung as well. It is MaxPax, our blue pro display here for game number 1 of this best of 3. And after this, we will be watching MaxPax taking on Cure as well. So a couple of these matches of MaxPax back to today. And just bringing this group to a close, and then we'll actually be drawing the play. Well, actually, no, we're going to cast Hero Marine versus Dark as well, because I've not seen those games yet. And then we're going to be drawing the playoff bracket and setting the schedule and stuff. We have to dance around World Team League and so on, but you guys can watch me figure all of that out in a little bit as well. So that's what's going on, that's what's happening, and yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. Waiting for this first game then to get underway. We're going to follow an Overlord early. There's not much else going on. MaxPax PvZ, very stalker heavy lately, very aggressive with those stalkers and getting a lot done. Scarlett typically just likes to play the kind of, as defensive as she can against those, right? Trying to hold on, be a little bit aggressive, get up to armies that can try and punish certain timings. You don't really see the late game develop too much. I do feel like Scarlett typically used to be a big fan of the late game, right? You used to always cast late game, ZvP versus Neeb, late game ZvP versus Australian, the American regionals. I feel like we've not seen too much Scarlett late game lately in this matchup, but if she gets there, it is fun to watch. MaxPax can be pretty terrifying late game as well, though, so it's definitely not a guarantee. It's definitely not easy on either side. Just, fun things to potentially watch out for, I suppose. As we do have that Adept Chrono boosting along, and as we get that just Chrono boosting along, we just wait to see exactly where we're going to take things. Obviously, there's a Adept popping out. It's going to go and replace the probe, which is coming and trying to scout across the map. Scott was forced to take the initial hatchery on the third base. That's very standard in this day and age of ZvP. Like, that is just a given, basically. There really ain't anything too surprising about that, actually. It's kind of, like I say, the world that we live in is that you don't really get to build your natural on your natural. Protoss players generally, I mean, you do if you kind of go for a certain time in hatchery. Very rarely the Protoss players decide not to scout as well. So there's possibilities, there's worlds where it happens, but in general, it's not the most common way of kind of approaching it. So, like I say, with noting slightly is our Adept and another Adept going to come join in together. Adepts together will actually commit to their shade, so feeling as though there's actually opportunity for damage here. Adepts obviously one-shot the lings, they one-shot the drones, so yeah, it's actually not bad. Going to get the creep team on the edge, which is maybe not the most important creep team, but clearly one that Scarlett wanted, otherwise she wouldn't have spread it there. Although I guess it's also just a remnant of... Hold on a second, as we do not get this one. It's also just a remnant of getting creep between your bases, I guess, so... But spreading it here instead of... Yeah, okay, I guess maybe it's not that big. If she spread it here, she could have spread it outwards as well, eventually. Obviously didn't go for that, so... Just noting. Basika, thank you so much for the 2 years resub on the Prime. Hell yeah, thank you so much for priming us up on repeat. For 2 whole years. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. As 3 drones dropped the first attempt of an Oracle. Extra drones on the way in. Our Spore Crawlers coming up as well. Start prepping against these Oracles properly. There's one Oracle defensively as well, which allows the third Nexus to go down without issue. The map, Babylon, obviously does provide some, more aggressive potential. It is one of the shorter maps. It's not an Ancient, it's not an Altitude. This is the kind of map where as a Zerg, you probably look at it and say, okay, cool, there are some timings I can hit, and I can hit them well. Rushing across this map doesn't take too long, for example, so there's definitely possibilities to think of, and especially with someone who's as good at creep spread as Scarlett is. But she can really prioritize getting that creep across and making her attacks that much faster, that much, arriving that much more scarily timed. These are things that Scarlett does very well for herself a lot of the time, so definitely things to watch out for as our Oracles overhead, a couple of Adepts moving through. Twilight Council, Forge, Nexus, all continuing to build. A couple of probes coming up as well. We will Revelate, and we will be able to knock down a couple of Creep Tumors. First one going down there was actually spreading forward, so it actually cancels the active, which is even better. Take those. Dives in. Already, just a couple drones going down once again, and this is the kind of damage that just adds up, right? Couple drones here and a couple drones there. This isn't the earliest damage to be taken, right? It's, 5:30 in the game, but it still adds on that little bit. Of course, the 5 drones earlier really did hit a bit earlier on, really did knock the economy of Scarlett that little bit extra. Definitely made life a bit tougher. Lings come through. First and second probe will go down pretty quickly. As we get rid of both of those, the Lings will actually jump onto these Stalkers, finding those immediately. Nice catch. Kind of catch that can maybe open opportunities further down the line. You start to knock down Stalkers already, and that means that the first push of the Blink is not going to be as powerful. Maybe there's more for you to do there. We are building into that melee upgrade. That's why the Oracles are so important. If there's going to be melee upgrade Lings on the map, these Oracles are going to be the real defenders of those. If Scarlett could nab an Oracle here, or two, then fantastic. Even better, Lings come forward, all the Adepts go down, the Lings continue up to the north. We'll have our Oracles continue in toward the main base potentially as the Lings run around over here. Stalker's getting a few shots off. A lot of those Lings begin to go down. Just going to have the one Adept sat in the wall off as well. Continue to go through this and just going to be seeing 2 more Stalkers building up as well. Blink is about halfway done, plus 1 attack is coming up. Our Hydeless Den here from Scarlett will begin in this main base. Just going to get that going. The rest of these Lings moving across the right-hand side. Yeah, Scarlett just continues into Ling Bay and Hydra. Good composition for just kind of trading consistently, getting a bit aggressive. And do have a decent drone count as well. Right now, 68. We'll see if she ever moves off this, or if she's really just going to go kind of like 70-ish. And then attack, attack, attack. And if she just attacks non-stop from here, this is very committed. This is, on the verge of being almost all in, right? So then she really is going to need to find some damage in that regard. So some possibilities at the moment of what we set up toward. Lings still trying to come to the top. The initial stasis ward there will catch a group of those Zerglings, so that's going to go and get blocked up pretty much immediately. And we do have the Ling Bane attacking on the left-hand side as well. Let's see how these Stalkers do defensively. Some Banes will hit this mineral line. Surely these Lings can get in. I guess they were blocked by the pylon and the Stalker, so I guess just good positioning there actually from MaxPax. Doing everything he can to make it difficult for Scarlett to actually deal damage. She has amazing creep up the right side of the map, by the way, which is great because it's in front of all of her bases. So it's going to be an extremely good pre-warning of any aggression that MaxPax brings in that direction, of any potential attacks he tries to line up. Scarlett's going to be on top of that. She is going to be extremely aware, and that's just obviously great news if you're a Scarlett fan. But her bases are going to be safe, her economy's going to be well set. Obviously now can start working on some of this creep on the bottom side as well, and she's going to be extremely controlling of the map at this rate. She's like going to own this place. He is going to own this place at this rate. There's a couple more Banelings, more Fane, Lings, and Hydras head up north, and they will wrap and try and see the right side of this expansion, but not sure there's really enough of an opportunity there to justify going for it. Gonna dive in with a little bit more Ling Bane right now. MaxPax, because of this pressure, has not really been able to get out onto the map, so a little awkward, because you're still just kind of playing Stalker Zealot. You're not really teching into kind of the higher tech units that would be really good typically against like Ling Bane Hydra, like Storms and so on. So, not that MaxPax is in too much trouble yet. He is holding on to 4 bases. But he's got creep right on his doorstep. Scarlett's composition is going to keep on hitting him, and I don't know if he's really got the tech, like I say, to survive easily. No charge yet. Immortal's not out. There's a single Archon. This wave of the army from Scarlett already looks to start getting some work done. This time, the Lings will get into this mineral line as well, so we might start seeing some eco damage done too, so Scarlett can slow down MaxPax's rebuilds from the future. 29 probes go down as Banelings crash into the top right also. Now a couple of Storms come in, so he actually does have some Storms, and they are decent, but that's about it. That was them. They are already used up, and now it's just going to be Archons until we get new High Templar recharging. Fortunately for MaxPax, Scarlett takes a moment to back away, but she might not be back for long because she just killed 30 workers. She knows that MaxPax is going to be a little bit on the ropes, especially if you can keep on pressuring. Don't let MaxPax reset that work count freely. Punish him for having lost those workers in the first place. It does seem to be the goal and the target right now of Scarlett as she comes on in. Link Vein Hydra from this right-hand side. This base is going to take mineral line damage once again. The probes are dropping, and MaxPax is going to tap out of here. He says, there's no road to recovery for me here in this map. Scarlett is going to have what it takes to take down game number 1. Scarlett off to a 1-0 lead. On the top left-hand side of game number 2, I'm going to start off with the red Zerg player Scarlett from the Shopify Rebellion. Up against the blue Protoss, bottom right-hand corner from Sidestorm, MaxPax. So I guess just trying to tidy my desk up a little bit so I can actually reach the keyboard. Game number 2. We already have ourselves the probe across the map, blocking the natural hatchery, and the third base location being taken instead. Gonna be our starting point here. There's a hatch Chasm Pool coming up though from Scarlett. Now we'll just follow this probe around, as generally this is the most exciting thing happening in the early game in the ZvP. Ellie bailed? Ellie did not bail. She knows for a fact there's still food up here. You think Ellie bailed, you're crazy. She's just lying in wait. Oh no, she's heard her name. Yeah. I'll give you a little Ellie Cam sneak peek. She's waiting right there. She's looking intently to see if there's any more food. You know what she's doing. You know what you're doing, don't you? She knows. She's not dumb. They changed hours to these weird signature series. Yeah, Subway did that thing, right, where they were like, hey, you can now pick, like, you pick the sandwich so you don't have to choose. It's like, isn't the whole point of Subway the fact you can choose exactly how it's made? Right? I'm like, is that not one of the best parts of Subway? This really baffled me. I mean, it's not that you have to choose the pre-made ones. It's like, you know, it's just like if you want to, you can. But like, isn't the best part of Subway that you can just pick what you think is good? It's wild. Probe finally returns back home. Adept taking its place on the map as Stargate is the choice here from MaxPax. And obviously, we're likely to see those oracles as a starting point once again. There should be no surprises about that. Adepts will back away. Shading on down to the bottom side. Link speed coming up. Oracle still producing. As this Oracle count gets a little bit higher, we'll be getting ourselves to a point where we have a scary force on the map once again. Very similar to the last game in terms of setup. I'd say nothing too surprising. Waiting to see if there's going to be any twists or turns. Oracle comes in, going to go after a couple of these drones. 2, 3 drones going down immediately. Make it 4, make it 5. That's just okay. Keep it at 4 over here, but the Adepts are putting in work to make it up to 7 workers killed. So the Adepts are the real heroes for the moment. 7 workers, they get about 3 kills. The Oracle got 4, the Adepts 3. Not bad. Now we find an undefended natural. 8 workers killed. This is super early damage as well. This is like 4-minute damage, right? 9 forces a Spore Crawler. This is damage early enough in the game that this game is now in trouble for Scarlett. The first pushes of MaxPax are going to be that much more powerful. His aggression is going to hit in a whole new kind of light. And Scarlett's just going to have a rough time. She's on the map with these Lings, but not really any way to do anything. Not with Oracles defensively as well. Ling's going to try and grab themselves one probe. We do see an extra Stalker warping in. The Oracle's activating, keeping these Lings at bay. Just going to be seeing our Queens of Skull continue to push on down to the bottom side of the map. So we continue out down to the south. Continue to move across. Speed Racer, thank you so much for the 39-month resub. Straight up Queen Walk then, with, well, just pure Lings behind it. We're building an Evo chamber. The Oracle's still dealing damage. MaxPax has no prep for the Queens, but then there's nothing other than Queens here. So how scary really is that? Great question, isn't it? I actually do not really know. I mean, the Queens are hitting, now the Lings are arriving. We are still losing a couple drones at home as Scarlett. Yeah, what a wild little situation. I mean, we're going to kill the third base. MaxPax loses it without really losing anything else, though, which typically, if you are going to lose the third, that's the best way to lose it without trying to defend it and losing so much in the attempted defense. He's still done a lot of damage. Scarlett is down 5 workers. I still don't mind it for MaxPax. It is nice that Scarlett gets the third base. I love that Queens are going to go home without being taken out as well. I guess she just drones and macros from here. I mean, what a weird little situation. The fact you can just walk home from an attack like this because you killed the third so easily. What a weird little situation, man. What a weird little situation. Couple Queens getting onto the Oracles here. We're still losing drones. This game has been a drone massacre. 13 workers lost for Scarlett in a 6.5-minute game. So economy has never really been, completely stable as it should be. Oracle turns back around 2. Still seeing some more Lings out down to the south. Coming in, the Stalkers are there immediately to push the Lings back up the top, and again, +1 attack, Blink still building. A couple Oracles heading back down to the bottom side, the Lings chase away up to the top, and out of there for the moment as well. Couple Queens still coming over, just going to be seeing our Overlords hanging out overhead. Again, melee upgrade, mainland nest, +1 attack and Blink, we'll continue to build. Revelate to drop down a couple of these creep tumors, so we knock those out of the way straight away. The rest of the Lings still moving across. My Stalkers, our Oracles working around the right side, a chance to hop onto this top right side base. The next couple of moments. This base looks like it's going to go down. Scarlett is going to run in with the Lings now. MaxPax will just dedicate to killing the base off. Gets a few Lings as he leaves as well. Things now running around the bottom on the left-hand side, also trying to keep just an eye on what exactly is going on. Scarlett is going to have a new 4th base up on the left side. 64 drones, still just playing heavy into that Ling Bane, +2 melee, Baneling speed. These are the upgrades that are finishing soon. These are going to be the anchor of the next step, step in Scarlett's game, because there's not much else for her to do beyond kind of work around that. So, she's going to have to work around all that. Plenty of Stalkers still. MaxPax is going to keep up the aggression. Temple Archives charge on the way. This game time actually being able to be aggressive with the Stalkers, right? Something he missed out on last time. Massive Baneling counter lines up on the left. Taking this forward base as well, this is becoming a norm in the PvZ. Harstem was the first I actually saw doing this, and MaxPax apparently liking it a little bit. Gonna use it here. That is a massive stasis ward. Holy crap. Unfortunately catches the Stalker, which just gets Blink in time. Okay, so it wasn't really unfortunate, I suppose, but that is a huge stasis ward still. Baneling's here, heading down the bottom side. Stalker's taking some shots. So a few of those Stalkers already dropping away. Let's see the rest of them peeling out over the sides. Ling's still active. Stasis ward catching. Just keeping... I mean, at least we're popping the stasis when nothing else is happening. Could be worse. These stasis could be happening while a major fight happens, then you're missing out on a ton of your units, right? So there are positives to popping the stasis wards, even if they feel kind of like, pretty sizable and whatever. The Assimilator just going to set up, and the Stalker's still here, pushing away at these Zerglings, pushing them back. Scarlett's getting close to +2 melee. She's got Lingbane over on this side. Let's see what she can do with it. She's going to run into the 4th base as well. Where are we going to go? These Banes from the bottom actually decide to come up north towards this location. They're going to hit this mineral line. That's dead. So that's just 20 probes probably. Or thereabouts. 18. Sure. Archon's not ready just yet. They do finish morphing, however. There's now Lings on this bottom side trying to make their way into this 3rd base. Doesn't actually have any probes on it just yet either. I guess they've been all pulled away in the defense. Scarlett is just spamming Zerglings. 52 of them on the way. Currently surrounding the Archon and a few of those Stalkers. That goes well. This Archon doesn't have any batteries to heal it up or anything, so maybe this Archon could also be in trouble, or is that asking for a little bit too much? Perhaps 28 dead probes. Make it 32. MaxPax's supply is genuinely dropping off quite substantially, guys. Are we actually seeing Scarlett just overrun here? The 4th base is in trouble. Now just pure Link production with +2 melee is genuinely getting the job done. We are getting there. We are absolutely getting there, my goodness. Holy crap. It's happening, right? That's it. Scarlett's going to finish off this base, and she is in absolutely stellar position to close out this game. And this series, I mean, 2-0 against MaxPax. She's going to move to 2-1 in the group. MaxPax is going to be 1-1. Kua 2-0. Scarlett lost to Kua. I don't imagine she ends up good there. Potentially has 2nd place in this group, though, depending on how Kua MaxPax goes, I guess. Aiden's coming in. The Lynx around is good enough, even against these Archons, apparently. Okay, a few of them slipped away, actually, in the end. MaxPax is going to tap out. He cannot stabilize. He cannot keep this up and running. GG. Scarlett with the 2-0. A bit of a shocking result in my eyes, actually. Scarlett, big win. Guaranteeing an even better spot in this